Your competitor down the street has 200 Google reviews and you have 11. And honestly, you are probably the better practice. But the new patient searching family doctor near me right now does not know that. They see 200 reviews, they see 11 reviews, and they pick the one with 200. That is not a quality problem, but rather a reviews problem. Thankfully, the fix is not complicated, but most practices are doing it wrong or not doing it at all. So today, I'm going to walk you through every method that actually works and is numbered in order of effectiveness. So by the end of this video, you have a complete playbook. But first, why do patients not just leave reviews on their own? They are not lazy or ungrateful, they just never think to do it. People leave reviews when something goes wrong because frustration is a great motivator. But when everything goes right, they go home and move on with their day. The good experience quietly disappears. Research backs this up. 70% of patients will leave a review when asked. 70%. The ask is the whole game. Method 1. The in-person ask at checkout. This one costs nothing and takes about 5 seconds. When a patient checks out and the visit went well, your front desk staff says something like, "It was great seeing you today. And if you have a moment later, we would really appreciate a Google review. It helps other patients find us." No script longer than 2 sentences, no pressure, just a genuine human ask. The problem with relying only on this method is that it depends entirely on your front desk staff remembering to do it for every patient, every day. While they are also answering phones, checking in new patients, and handling insurance questions at the same time, it will get skipped, so use this method but do not build your review strategy on it. Method 2. Text message after the visit. This is where things start to actually scale. Text has a 98% open rate, and almost every text gets read within a few minutes. The timing matters a lot here, and the sweet spot is 1 to 2 hours after the appointment ends, when the visit is still fresh and the patient is back in their car or just checking their phone. The message should be short, something like, "Hi, thanks for visiting us today, and if you have 60 seconds, a Google review means a lot to our team." Then include the direct link. That direct link is critical because every extra step creates a friction. If every time a patient has to search for your profile or figure out how to leave a review, that is a place where they might drop off. Remove the friction. One more thing on text, send it from your office number, not a random shortcode or a number the patient has never seen. When the message comes from a number they recognize, they open it, but when it comes from somewhere unknown, it looks like spam. Our customers who used this saw a massive jump in reviews. Mary Tilak went from 20 reviews to over 1500. Plaza OBGYN went from under 20 reviews to 899. And we see this pattern again and again. Practices stuck at 20 or 30 reviews for years simply because patients never trusted the number the text came from. Method 3. Email follow-up. Email is slower than text with open rates averaging around 20 to 30% for healthcare. But it is still worth sending, especially as a second touch point. If your practice already sends a post-visit email for care instructions or satisfaction surveys, add a review request at the bottom. 1 sentence and 1 button, something like, "Loved your visit? Leave us a quick review here." Do not bury it, and do not write 3 paragraphs before you get to the ask. Email works best as a follow-up to text, not as a replacement for it. Before we go to the next method, if you are finding this useful, hit subscribe. Because we put out videos specifically for healthcare practice owners and office managers, and there's a lot more coming. Also stay with me until the end of this video because I am going to cover a HIPAA trap that catches practices completely off guard when they reply to reviews. And it has cost practices $30,000 to $50,000 in fines when they had no idea they were doing anything wrong. Method 4. The feedback funnel. Here is a pattern I see constantly. A practice starts asking for reviews. The happy patients leave 5 stars. But occasionally a patient who had a bad experience, maybe a long wait, maybe a billing issue, gets the same message and goes straight to Google. A feedback funnel protects against this. Instead of sending every patient directly to Google, you send them to an internal feedback step first. Something like, "How was your visit today?" If they respond positively, the next screen takes them to Google. But if they flag a concern, that message comes to your inbox privately. Your team can address it, so that you save the relationship and you prevent a 1-star review from going public before you even knew there was a problem. This is not about gaming the system, it is about getting to unhappy patients before they go elsewhere to vent. Method 5. Automated review request triggered by your EMR. This is the method that actually compounds because the problem with methods 1 to 4 done manually is that they are inconsistent. Some days it happens, some days it does not, some staff ask and some forget, and you get a trickle of reviews instead of a stream. When you connect your review request directly to your EMR, that every appointment completion automatically fires a text to the patient. So it becomes something you never have to think about again. The appointment closes in the system, the message goes out, the link is there, and the review either happens or it does not. But you asked every time without exception. We see this with practices using Emitrr, where the review request fires automatically from the practice's own office number, 1 hour after the appointment and again the next day if there was no response. Practices that switch to this from manual outreach see an 800% increase in reviews, not 80%, 800. That is the difference between 11 reviews and 110, and between showing up on page 2 of Google and showing up at the top. Now the HIPAA trap that I mentioned, once reviews start coming in, you are going to want to respond to them, and this is where a lot of practices unknowingly create a compliance problem. HIPAA prohibits you from confirming that someone is or was a patient at your practice, even if they wrote the review themselves, even if they used their own name, and even if the whole review describes their appointment in detail. If a patient leaves a 5-star review and you reply, "Thank you so much for coming in, we are so glad you are feeling better," that is a HIPAA violation, because you just confirmed they were a patient and disclosed the detail about their health. This is not theoretical. A dental practice was fined $50,000 for exactly this in 2022. And a mental health practice in New Jersey was fined $30,000 for responding to negative reviews and including patient details in the replies. So what can you actually say? 2 responses, that is all you get. For a positive review, thank you for your feedback. For a negative review, we appreciate you reaching out. Please call our office so we can help. Nothing more, because any extra word that connects a person to a visit, a diagnosis, or a service is a risk. Quick recap of all 5 methods. 1. In-person ask at checkout, simple, human, and free, but inconsistent without backup. 2. Text message 1 to 2 hours after the visit, from your office number with a direct link. 3. Email follow-up, works best as a second touchpoint, not a standalone. 4. Feedback funnel, filter unhappy patients before they reach Google publicly. 5. Automated EMR triggered review requests, the one that actually scales. If you want to go deeper on why Google reviews matter for your healthcare practice, the SEO impact, the new patient math, and what happens when your rating drops below 4 stars, we have a separate video on exactly that, and the link is in the description. The practices that win the new patient game are not always the best clinicians in the room, they are the ones who show up when someone searches. Reviews are how you show up, so start asking.